In this video I'm going to teach you how to use the toner. So if you have to use one of these and you have to trace cables, for instance for phones or for data, I'm going to show you now how to use them step by step. So in this case, first a little bit of theory, and then we're going to go to the customer, and then I'll show you how I did to trace a cable, so that way you can do the same. So now I'm going to leave this on the side. Later on I'm going to show you a little bit closer, so that way you can buy this product or maybe something else. So let's say in this case we have this room, we have room number 1, and then we have the data closet. So in this case, let's say we have a port here is B17, and then maybe here we have B18. So we have another one for phones, for the phone line. So let's say if you want to trace data, what you have to do, you have to get one special cable like this, and then I'm going to show you why you have to use this and how to use it with the tracer that I'm going to show you in a little bit. So the first thing, once you have this cable, you're going to plug it in here, and then you will go to the data closet. That if you have a mess, it's going to be a little bit more difficult, but if everything is organized like I did for another customer, I'm going to show you here the before and then the after. So you're going to find that it's going to be a little bit more, it's going to be easier if you have the labels everywhere. But sometimes you never know, you go to the customer and maybe they don't have a label in the port in the room, and maybe they don't have a label here. It happens all the time. So it's very often, so you have to be prepared, and that is why you have to learn how to use one of these. So if the label fail or is not there, no big deal. If you have a toner, you're going to be able to do it. So let's say here we have the other port. So it's easy. You're going to connect to one of these cables here, and then you will go to the other side with the radio. This is a radio, and then you go to trace the cable. So if you have a lot of cables, you're going to keep pushing this button until you hear the beep, something like that. I'm going to show you. It's going to make like a different noise than the noise that is when you don't have nothing, or maybe you're not going to hear anything, more like a like a hum, the right noise like this. It means that you found it. If you don't hear anything, maybe like a radio station. Sometimes you can find even a radio station with these, or maybe a music that they are transmitting in the store. You never know, but it's something that you can expect on this type of thing. So when you find the right cable, it will beep in a different sound like you just saw, and then that is the best case. You found the cable, great, you can do the job, whatever you have to do. Sometimes you have to troubleshoot an access point. So for instance, I went to a customer and the access point wasn't working. I didn't know why. So I went and started tracing the cable, so it wasn't unplugged. It was easy job, you know, but when they don't have labels anywhere, it's a disaster. Is more difficult. Also, you have to keep in mind another thing. When you're working on this, you're going to get interference from anything else, maybe from the PBX, it's a phone system, or maybe data, or maybe something else, because you cannot unplug anything. So because they keep working. So the ideal scenario would be unplug everything, I mean shut off all the power, and it will be an easy peasy. But when you go places you cannot do that, so you have to do this. So when you find the easiest way is to unplug both ends. So you plug this here, and hopefully in the other end there is nothing. Otherwise, sometimes if you have something that is plugged in the other end, like a phone system or maybe like a switch or something like that, that may decrease the signal, and then it's going to be more difficult for you to find it. And then we have, for instance, the phone, like I said here, maybe it's P2. In the case that you have the phone system, like I said before, you can plug in the transmitter again, and then from here you're going to go to the block 66, and then same thing. You're going to try to trace the cable with the radio. The thing is, if you plug this in here and you have it on, I'm going to show you later, but you will have it at least with this type of with this model. At least you will have the light on the top and the bottom. Both are going to light up, and that means that you have dial tones here. So for instance, in this customer, at least in this case, the customer was going to replace all the old analog lines with IP lines. So what I did is, instead of running a new line, a new cable, the good thing is that the previous technician, instead of running just regular Cat3 cable or phone cable, he ran Cat6. So that way you can transmit data, phone lines, anything. And also, if you want to transmit, if you want to use this cable because you have 4 pairs, you can run like 4 lines in one Cat6. Also, in this case, this wasn't the case. They were using just 1 pair for 1 line, and that's it. That is the best case scenario. So that way, the only thing I had to do is just unplug the old phone system from this cable, and then move the cable from here to the patch panel, and that's it. So that was easy. But in order to do that, when you plug in the transmitter here, you have to go here and try to see which one it is, and then unplug one of the cables, and then you will see that the sound of the transmitter is going to be higher, or the signal of the transmitter is going to be higher, and the radio, you're going to be able to hear it just very good, because I mean the signal is going to be way stronger, and you're not going to have those 2 lights at the same time. Just the light on the top that says tone, and that's it. So that is how you're going to be able to find it right away. And if you did a mistake that wasn't the right one or anything like that, what you can do is just you can unplug it and plug it back in. I mean, what you can do is just plug it back in and unplug the next one, and the next one, the next one. That is one of the options. All right, this is the second option. This is your second best friend. So I'm going to show you later on closer. But basically, what you're going to do, if you cannot unplug, start pulling cables, to unplug maybe 1 line at a time or something like that, will be the best case scenario. If you want to go safe, this is what you have to do. It will be the easiest, but most people, they don't have this. So if you don't have that, you do the first thing I told you. Otherwise, this is your best bet. If you have all the tools, like I do, no big deal. This is what you do. You put it like that, and then you put this on, you unhook it, so that way you put it so you turn it on, so that way you can hear the dial tone, and then what you do is you start touching each line that you have in the block 66. That's it. So, and you will hear the same thing that you were hearing with the transmitter. You're going to be hearing this on the phone, on the bot set. Very easy. You don't have to unplug anything. Just is very safe. But I know some people, they don't have all the tools. But if you don't have it, if you don't have them, that is the option that you have. So I'm going to tell you something else that is very important. If you're running data, like I said before, and you grab this, if you grab the transmitter and you say, okay, I'm going to use the RG11, and then I'm going to plug it in here, this is not going to work, or it's not going to work as it should. The problem is because you're using a twist pair. So for instance, here you have the 4 pairs, like I mentioned before. And if you're grabbing, for instance, orange with light orange, because it's twisted, it's not going to work. When you go to the other end of the cable, the signal is going to be so weak because it's twisted already, no, you're not going to be able to detect anything. So in order to overcome this, to solve this problem, you're going to grab the orange, for instance, and the blue one, or the orange and the brown one, something that is not twist together, so something that is be completely apart. You do that, and then you put it here. That is why we have your best friend. Your third best friend is this. You build yourself one of these, and then you're going to run the data. You're going to run the signals through the cable like that, and then you should be able. You're going to be okay. So you're going to, like I said, to me, easy, orange, brown, and you should be able to get the signal in the other side just fine. So now I'm going to show you the product closer, and then after that we're going to the customer, and then I'm going to show you how to do the shop. All right, we have the phone, we have the terminals, and I'm going to show you everything closer so the way you can see. Also, I have my best friend and your other best friend. We have the radio, so if you want to listen to some music, you can use this. No, you cannot use this to listen to music, but sometimes you're going to be able. Let's see everything closer so that way you can see. So this is the bud set. I like this bud set a lot. This is a fluke bud set, as you can see here. And you can leave it on, as you can, where it says stock, it will be the on. And with this you can dial with dial tone or with pulse. That is the old way. But at least for now, in this case, this is all you're going to use, is just leave it on dock. And all you have to do is just grab the terminals, you put it on the block 66, and that's it. So that way you are going to be able to listen the transmitter in the other side. In another class I will explain how to use this deeply, but for now we're going to leave it the way it is, because we are just tracing cables. That's it in this class. Now we have this, and this is the transmitter. So the transmitter, you're going to be able to turn it on like that, just by moving this switch like this. In the middle is off, and if you move it on the bottom, it will be for continuity. So that way you can close the circuit if you want to test something like that. Usually I use it just using these two terminals, and that's it. So what you're going to do, in case if you have to use this and you have to put it in the female terminal on the wall, so once you put the female terminal, this you're going to use the male, this is the male, and you're going to put it on the wall. So once you have done that, you're going to do this, you're going to connect this, you're going to strip the cable. In this case we were talking about the brown one and the orange one, so we're going to grab these two, we're going to grab it like that, and then you plug it into the wall and let it run. Just you're going to leave it like that. If you see just the light that is red and that's it, it means that you don't have anything on the line. If you see this light plus the other one that you see continuity, it means that you have a dial tone in that place. So all you have to do is just leave it on tone, don't worry about that, and then you can use this. If you don't want to unplug anything, like I said before, you can use the bud set. The bud set will be your best friend. Otherwise, this is what you're going to be looking for. So this is the brand, so the item model number that you see here, this is the receiver or radio. So sometimes the customer will have some type of radio transmitter or some radio or something like that, you know, to place music on hold, or maybe for the whole room or something like that. And sometimes with this you're going to be able to pick it up. So if you are moving this around, and it's kind of far away. When you get closer, you're going to hear this sound, so that is the sound of victory, and you're getting closer. In order to turn this on, you're going to push this button, and that's it. This is, once you release it, this will be off by itself. If you want to decrease the volume, just turn the wheel that you see here, and that's it. So always I have it in maximum on. What happens if you're in a very noisy environment? Let's say that you're in the data center or something like that, and you have to do the same. Hopefully in the data centers they have everything with labels and everything, but sometimes you go places where it's very noisy or something like that. That is when you use the audio jack. So you're going to plug this in. You can use any headset that you want. In this case, I have the Apple products, so I use this, and it works very well. Also, in another occasion that you may use this is, let's say, the signal is very weak, but if you have this in your ears, you're going to be able to hear it much better than if you have this, because with this you have, you know, all the environment noise and everything, people talking around you, maybe you have few servers around you, and you know, when you have a lot of noise, it's going to be difficult to hear this. So by using this will be your lifesaver. So let's say that you're using maybe RG45 with regular Cat3 or just regular phone line. You can use this, you can plug it in, you will have these two, and that's it. But if that is not the case, you use the other thing with the adapter, and that's it. That will be your best friend. If you want, before you go to the customer, you can play with this, grab a roll of 100 feet or something like that, and then try to use this instead of using this, and you will see by yourself that the signal is going to be very weak, very almost unnoticeable, at least with the regular speaker. So now I'm going to show you now let's go to the customer, and I'll show you how this works in the real world. Alright, as you can see here, we are going to unplug one of the cables, and then I'm going to unplug each one by one. You don't need any tool to do this. So as you can see, this is the Ethernet cable that I was talking about before, and I'm going to install this. I'm going to put the RG45 plug, and then I'm going to put it in the patch panel, and everything will be great. So now I'm going to show you the tracker.
All right, when you have this is off and you will see continuity because you have line in the jack, and you turn it on, you will see this. That is normal. The only bad thing is that the signal is going to be very weak. You see, you barely can hear it. Now that I unplug it, you see the sound is higher, but this is how it works. So otherwise you have to unplug all the lines or turn off the PBX.
Alright, as you can see, I'm putting the radio, the receiver, and I'm inspecting the cables, each one of them, and I'm going to start unplugging one. So as you can see, now when the dial tone is unplugged, is stronger, the sound. Now I'm going to be unplugging all the other cables, the 4 pairs that comes inside of the Ethernet cable. And like I said before, no tools is needed, so just move one by one. This is the block 66, just in case if you never saw one of these before. That's it. Now that is free, because I have a bunch of cables going in. You have to try to, keep moving it until you can pull it from the top. As you can see in the top, I have the patch panel, and that is where I'm going to plug them in later. So I have another class how to do this, but for now, that's it.